Well, hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics. And as promised, the follow up video to Joe Biden earlier calling Vladimir Putin a killer, referencing nuclear tension, which seemed unnecessary. Sure enough, Vladimir Putin did respond. And interesting, his response, he says to a Russian state television reporter, I've just thought of this now. I want to propose to President Biden to continue our discussion, but on the condition that we do it basically live, as it's called, without any delays and directly in an open, direct discussion. It seems to me that would be interesting for the people of Russia and for the people of the United States. Well, that is darn true. I mean, geez, would that not be the most interesting? I would, how much would I pay to watch that one? Um, I don't know what the chances of that happening would be. Again, Biden, the alleged president, has still yet to do a State of the Union address. And a lot of the time when he talks in public, it's kind of unusual, although he seemed pretty confident when he went out of his way to challenge Putin. And I guess the big issue that I have is that let's say that he's right for a second and Putin's a big killer. That makes it even more dangerous and reckless what he did. Okay, if the guy really is a dangerous guy, do you go into the mafia and you poke him in the face and then leave your constituents behind to pay the cost? I mean, thank God that the guy's saying, why don't we talk about this first? I mean, they can make all those Rocky IV movies they want, but here you have one guy that is accusing someone of being a killer and then going as intentionally as possible, spitting in his face. That's the president. I mean, if there's ever been an action that was worthy of impeachment, of saying, get out now, just no, you can't continue. Doesn't matter. And first of all, he's talking about rigged elections. I think that's a slippery slope for this man to go down. I've been dug into rigged election. I've heard plenty about it. I know which side I would take on an even money bet. And I also know that pattern I've seen of the deep state, where usually I find what they're accusing somebody else of doing is what usually there is a lot of evidence that they've been covering up. I'll leave that one at that. Make of it what you will. Again, here is Joe Biden. The price he's going to pay, you'll see shortly. I mean, this is like best case. You hope he's just running his mouth like a finish that sentence. But otherwise, what if he's serious? What if we actually take the alleged president of the United States at his word? What if the guy's not kidding? What if he goes out drinking tonight and isn't in a good mood tomorrow? Here, Putin points out, the U.S. is the only country that ever used a nuclear bomb. Again, I've not studied Putin. I'm reading a book about the Bush family, and boy, is that quite a track record that they didn't mention any of the debates. Well, they're ripping off the country for the last 70 years. Family that financed the Nazis. There were 2 nuclear bombs. And then, you know, I've mentioned before, my father was born in the Sudan, grew up in Egypt, considered himself Egyptian. So not that makes me more worldly than anyone else, although I remember I would talk to him sometimes. I would hear, why do they always say that Iran are these terrorists? What did Iran do? And he tells me, and I'd read books later about how the CIA overthrew Mohammed Mossadegh in the early 50s because they didn't like the oil deal, and the British didn't like the oil deal, so they ripped up their government. My understanding is prior to that, Persian people loved and but he wanted to come to America, like what you see in the movies in the olden day, where it was an honor to come here before you had stuff like this. I don't care what it is. Someone tell me the situation in which this was a positive event that was said. What's the best that happens? Is that the guy's bluffing and just a lot of people end up being scared? If you have impeachment, use it now. Otherwise, what's the damn point of having it? It's about as useless as the debt ceiling debate. So, Russian leaders simply said, evaluating other countries like looking in a mirror. Takes one to know one. That's not just a children's saying in a joke. There's a deep psychological meaning in this. Hey, I'm not going to attempt to say who's right or not. Just this is not well handled. And hopefully we'll get to see that debate. That would be darn fascinating. I'll bet a lot would come out. And in either case, hope you're doing well out there. Stay safe, and hopefully cooler heads will prevail in the very immediate future.